age 7, I got really into dance lessons. And then a few years later, I got into Boy Scouts, not Girl Scouts, Boy Scouts. They let the girls in. We love 21st century. But then at Scouts like retreat thing, it was like we were building a ladder and like climbing it, and then everyone had to like climb the ladder. But we built the ladder ourselves, and we were like 11.
Hmm.
And so this was not a very well built ladder. And so I fell off of the ladder and broke my leg. And then at this point, I was like, screw the Boy Scouts. They broke me. And then I couldn't do dance lessons because I had a broken leg. And like, you have to take like a full year off because you need like all the recovery time and stuff. And my mom was like, well, we got to get you out of the house. You got to do something
Yeah.
because we've had enough of you. So she's like, maybe we'll sign her up for some music lessons. And then my dad, he used to play drums and like percussion in like high school band, and so I think he just wanted a drum set in the house. So he
Yeah.
was like, "Let's sign her up for drum lessons," which they did, and then it like by like week 2, I was like, "This is it. This is my thing," and I've just been making music ever since.
So how did that shape into you being a music teacher and doing all these recitals and everything? Like, how did that form into you wanting to become this now, I guess?
Well, it took years of like development.
Hmm.
Like I would say, like I started definitely knowing like I wanted to like keep playing music, but it was just a fun thing. I was like literally like 12, so but then you get into like high school, and I was playing in like all the high school bands. Like we had concert band, jazz band, wind ensemble. I was in the guitar class. I played in the pit band for our musical. I was doing all of it, and I was like, I want to keep doing this, and then they get to like you're going to go to career fair and they're going to tell you about welding and I don't know all of the other things that you can do, and I was like, all of this is lame. I just want to play my little drums. And then actually went to the same high school as Wyatt King of Hopscotch Battle Scars.
No way. That's
Yeah,
awesome.
they were 3 years older than me, but I watched them like get into music school and do all of that thing. So like that was my like, hey, this is something that like you could do is like just keep playing music. So I kind of talked to Wyatt a little bit, and I talked to my band teacher and got like really into figuring that
Yeah.
out. I did my music school audition in grade 12, and I'm currently in kind of the middle, like year 3-ish of
Mhm.
my music degree. It's going to
You-
take me a long time. It's a 4-year degree, but no one
It's,
does it in 4 years.
at least it's not a lawyer degree. That's like 8 years and everything. You're
Exactly.
good. You're good.
Yeah, and then how I got into teaching was I went to Quest one day to buy something,
Mhm.
and I had taken all of my lessons at Quest for like 8 years.
Hmm.
And I had gone there just to buy something, and they had just opened their new location on Osborne, and they were talking about, oh yeah, we got all these new lesson rooms. They're awesome, and I was like, oh, you got new lesson rooms? You need to fill those with teachers? And they were like,
Ooh.
yeah, actually. And I just like and got a job like pretty quickly because my old drum teacher was still working there, and they were like, yo, Brooke just applied, and he was like, you were gonna hire her, right? Which was
So you got it, and you were basically in from the start. You're just
yeah.
going
I
nosing.
I live well off of what nepotism. It helped me a lot.
Explain the process of nepotism for people, for you.
Whoa, 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 whoa. You think I know how to like really explain big words, Mikey?
Listen.
They,
I don't know big words either here, Brooke.
they have Google. They can Google the word nepotism.
Mhm.
Basically, it just means everyone thought I was really cool, so they just let me do things.
Okay. Short and sweet. We like it. We like it. So, you're in a band as well, though, Brooke. Right.
I
So, how did you get into that now?
Uh, so that one was actually again we're going back to my Dakota collegiate days.
Ooh.
When I was a little ninth grader, we had Ansa and Megan were in 12th grade at Dakota, and Katie was in 11th grade. And I knew about all them because they were like cool big kids. They had no idea I existed. I was just a little ninth grader, like don't even look at
Oh,
those.
yeah, the ninth graders. You don't talk about today.
We don't talk about those, but that was me. But so I kind of knew of them, and then we didn't talk or connect at all until a Printport house party. Um, RIP Printport.
Rest in peace, Pinport.
We wouldn't be a band without them. But we were just hanging out, being the like three awkward people in the corner, just like hanging out with the cats. And then like a few months later was actually when like COVID hit and everyone was stuck at home. And so I was posting just like drum videos on my story, and Ansa hit me up and was like, "Hey, I have three girls that want a band and we don't have a drummer.
Ooh.
Do you want to do that?" And I was like really scared, but I was like, "Sure, I'll do it." And then we met in Katie's garage, and I didn't realize that Ansa is always late to everything, and Megan just a little bit. So I showed up on time, and I'd never really talked to Katie in my life. So we just hung out in her garage, and I was so scared. I was like 18. They were big kids. But once we got over that, it was really good. And we've been having fun ever since.
Okay, I want to know like the first practice and everything. Like, was it like intimidating? Like, what was going on that first initial
It
day?
Yeah, it was really weird because it was like COVID. So we
Hmm.
couldn't really like get together like in houses and stuff. Like this was like
Oh,
early. This was like May-ish. So everyone was still scared to like talk to people and like hang out. So we would hang out in Katie's garage, and my drums are in my basement, and I wasn't gonna lug all of my drums to her garage. If it got to that point, I
yeah,
probably would, but we were just kind of like waiting it out to see if we could get together and stuff.
yeah.
So we would just kind of like noodle around on guitars and like write some lyrics and stuff, but mostly we were just like kind of talking about music because like the three of them, they have known each other forever.
Yeah.
And then it was just me. So like it was almost like I was being interviewed. I
Oh
was
yeah,
in the
because
top
you're
spot.
the new one in the group, and they want to
Yeah.
get all this knowledge from you and see, oh, are you not gonna, you know, kill them? I don't know.
I thought about it,
You
but I
thought
decided
about it.
it.
Listen, those band practices get to you, you know.
Exactly, exactly.
Has there been any like rough days for band practices at all for you guys or not?
Not really. Like it's really funny because everyone's like, "Oh my god, girls drama," and I don't think we've ever had any drama. And I hear all my friends who are in bands with guys being like, "Oh, we're gonna kill each other. Freaking so and so is like being such a little bitch," and I'm like, I love my bandmates. Drama free. It's
Wait,
perfect.
there's drama in the Winnipeg scene with other bands? What?
No, actually, I'm just kidding. No, no way.
That's what they all
No,
say. That's what they all say. We're good. We're good. We're
no,
good.
but we are the perfect group dynamic.
Oh, okay. Yeah, okay, okay, okay.
I
No.
would say the only thing that we ever clashed about a little bit, but
Mhm.
not even too much, was like how our genres developed, because we started off like a little bit more like we were never hardcore, but
Yeah.
like we were playing shows with like Printport and Hopscotch
Right.
and stuff, and like we have our song that we used to open with all the time. It was Ego Check slash
Mm.
History and Alone, which has like chuggy guitars and like double kick. And if you've listened to any low life song recently, you're like, no way, that doesn't make
Yeah.
sense. But that's because Katie and I are like rooted in like the hardcore scene, and that's where we like started and stuff. And then the other two, not so much. And so we like naturally progress a little bit more. But then sometimes Katie and I write on our own every once in
Mm.
a while. And then we like take a step back and then we bring it to them, and they're like, "What are you doing?
It's
This is
got
all
a
I."
weird shift, right, with your guys' music taste and
Yeah,
influences, I guess, right?
yeah, because like we're all of our music tastes are like changing over the years, right? Individually and then like as a group. Like I say, we definitely found our sound now, like the like indie rock, pop punk type of thing. Like that's definitely the low life sound, but it pushes and pulls, which is really fun too.
I've noticed even a shift in the Winnipeg scene as well. In general has shifted to more of this pop punk indie stuff a lot more recently. You
Yeah.
you think you know why or no?
I don't know. I mean, I definitely like when I was younger, I was only going to hardcore shows and I didn't even like know that the other side of it like existed for the
Mhm.
longest time. And even now, like I am a bad music friend and I only go to the shows that I like. So I find myself at hardcore shows more often than the type of indie stuff. But it
Mhm.
is exploding and we're seeing a lot of it. Like there's so many bands for us to like play with. Like when we think about it, like who are we gonna play with? Like we have a whole list of people to ask, which is really cool and really nice because we're not worrying about like, we gotta find someone. It's just like, hey, we've always wanted to play with this person. This is like the opportunity to do it, which is really
Mhm.
nice.
Yeah, there's so many bands in the scene in general. Winnipeg has so much diverse music scene that you could just find a band. If they're even hardcore, they'll probably go indie for you. Like legit, everyone will join in a bill.
Yeah, it's really great. It's really interesting too. Like you can go to a show and have absolutely no idea what you're walking into.
That's the beauty of Winnipeg for music in general.
I love there's no drama in low life, but I do love drama. So I like when the bands really don't line up at all and you get to see like the crowd being like, "Yo, what is happening? This isn't the band I came to see." That's like my favorite thing ever.
Oh my gosh, that's hilarious. If you could pick any song on the internet that you wish you got to make, Brooke, what would it be?
Oh, any song I
Any song.
wish I made.
Yeah.
Oh, um, I am in a big movements phase right now. I
Oh.
love movements so much, and their drummer is absolutely insane, and he writes stuff that I'm like, I could not even fathom that as a like songwriter. So I wish that I could have the brain power to write "Skin to Skin" by Movements for sure.
Ooh, that'd be so good. That's a good choice. That's a good choice.
Yeah, yeah. Tell the other low ladies that we should cover it, please. Everyone, if you're listening, hit them up.
Hit up, hit up movements. Yeah, hit up
Hit up
movements.
movement.
Do
Tell
a
us about low life. Our
what?
daily cover goes crazy.
Yeah, just honestly record it and just release it at this point. Just do it. Have you thought
Maybe.
about releasing like covers on like platforms like that?
Yeah. Well, our first cover that we ever did was Daylily because we
Yeah.
weren't really writing stuff and we were wanted to like have a demo or something because we hadn't played any shows. We didn't play shows for like a year because
Yeah.
again we started in COVID. So we've recorded Daylily a couple times. There's some other like low life classics at this point. Like we were always doing Avril Lavigne. Like that's the type of stuff that like it's weird that we have like people coming out to our show to hear our originals, but also they're like, I know they're gonna do an Avril song. So we have kind of thought about it. There's a project where we're talking about doing with some other musicians in the scene. I won't say too much about because it's not my thing, but maybe might do an original for that. Might do a Daylily moment. See.
Ooh, ooh. Keep your eyes peeled, everyone. There's some mixing around going on in this scene.
People
Okay.
be mixing. It's getting crazy.
Okay. Okay. I see you. I see you. What's it like being all front all woman band in this space? Tell me about it. Are you guys happy that other women are trying to get into the scene and just developing some more?
Yeah,
I don't know.
I
Yeah.
think it's really awesome to see, like, how many girls are out there now. Because like, when we started, there was no, like, all-female bands in, like, our corner of the scene at all. I think, like, I know of French Class who is, like, very different from us, but they're all female, um, but that was about it. That's all we had seen, and then we joined, and then quickly after, we got, like, the Haleys and Stellar, join in, and it was like, "Oh, this is really cool," and then I'm seeing, like, a lot of female drummers coming out right now, which is really awesome because I didn't know of any before like, started playing, like, I was going to shows a long time before I started, like, playing them, and it was like, "All boys. It's a boys club. I like it."
It's all boys. We don't care about the like the only okay, legit. I've been going to shows for so many years, and the only one that I always got so much influence that was a woman drummer was Jen Ledger from Skillet.
Mhm.
Insane drummer who well, I see that with you guys too. Like you could sing and then do the drumming too. Like it's crazy.
Yeah, I definitely like love just looking at any like women drummers, whether it's like in our scene or wider. Because it's like I grew up when I started playing at 11. I'm pretty sure like pretty quickly someone who was like, ah, you play the drums and you're a girl, you're like Meg White from the White Stripes. And I'm like, no, 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 because I'm 11 and I've surpassed Meg White. I'm a huge Meg White hater. I will say it.
What?
Glad to talk about my Meg White hate any day. But there's just so many amazing like female drummers out there, and I love that I teach a bunch of little girls now, and they can like look up to me as a woman doing it, and also like I'm always talking about different female drummers who have inspired me, and I'm like I'm going to tell these kids about them when they're young rather than them having to find them on their own at like after they've been playing for like 5 6 years.
Nice. Yeah, yeah. Jeez, yeah. I need to know about this hatred. How did this hatred start?
Well, literally, just when you're a little girl playing the drums, everyone goes, "You're just like Meg White." But if you've ever listened to the White Stripes, the guitar, amazing. The vocals, amazing. The lyrics, amazing. The drums,
Oh,
bad.
just
She's
calling them out.
she does what she does, but it's very like straightforward and it like Jack taught her to play the drums just to play in the White Stripes and she did what she needed to do. She never went any further with it. And like that's fine for her, but I don't want to be
You're just
compared.
calling her basic at this point now,
She's
Brooke.
basic.
Oh
I'll
my
say
gosh.
I'm a Meg White hater till I die.
What if Meg White sees this podcast somehow and she's just like, yo, we're causing beef with this
I
person?
will say that the like beginner drum set song is Seven Nation Army, and I teach it like 6 times a week. So I do have to thank her for like half of my paycheck.
True. See, when I was learning guitar in school, my go-to song was, I think, uh, Spirit. I'm losing words today. Nirvana. It smells like Teen Spirit. That was my go-to song. I guess the first guitar lesson song, and I'm like, okay, I'm fine with that. I support that, and I love Nirvana. So, but you're just like, no.
I'm just a hater till I die, and that's okay. We all got something to hate.
I got some things to hate, but then there's other things like this. I'm like, I don't get how. I don't get how. But at the same time, okay, you'll be pissed off at me, but I'm not a Taylor Swift fan. Okay,
Oh, I don't care for it.
let's go. Okay, we're good then. Hey, now everyone's gonna hate me just because I'm a Taylor Swift hater.
Me too. No, I can't get behind pop music. I just can't do it.
Really?
Yeah,
Why
I
not?
don't know. I've I mean, I think I definitely went through my, like, 14-year-old I'm edgy, I listen to real music phase, and I definitely came out of that. I can understand why other people appreciate pop music, but, um, like, I find as a musician, I'm always trying to, like, find music that challenges me to listen to it,
Yeah.
like, that's why I really like things like Movements, or I really listen to The Contortionist a lot because their drums just, like, don't make sense to me and I'm like, I have to like listen to it a few times to be able to figure it out. Same with like the other instrumentals, but for me, drums is the big one.
Yeah.
Whereas I find in pop music, it's all like very straightforward, the same repetitive things. Like usually the drums are either really basic or they're made by a drum machine and just like aren't humanly possible. So I like things that are more of a challenge to like play and understand.
Yeah. When I saw Contortionists live like years ago, they were insane. Like that drummer was going nuts.
Yeah, I'm so jealous that you got to see them one day. One day I'm gonna see them.
Yeah, I hope to see them again. This was just before they were like getting bigger ish. It was like years ago. This was at the Garrick, I think, when they played. So yeah.
Yeah, and when they were here, I didn't know they existed. I found out too late.
Well, I didn't know about them at that time either, and then I listened. So it was with the Between the Buried and Me tour of that tour, and then I heard about the Contortionists, and then after I heard them, I'm like, yo, this band is sick, and then I got into them like crazy after that. So yeah, that's the beautiness of concerts and
Exactly.
live music in general.
It's just great.
It's
Who
just great.
doesn't love live music?
I don't like live Taylor Swift live music. No, have you heard about the craziness that the Swifties are doing now, Brooke?
Not specifically, but like maybe I've heard about it.
They want to basically take a cut from Taylor Swift now.
For why?
I don't know. They said, "Oh yeah, we're promoting Taylor for all her music endeavors. It's basically at this point now. If this happens, every band is gonna be screwed for money now because everyone's gonna be like, yo, let's have all our fandoms take money from the artists now."
Hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Interesting.
Very interesting. I saw that on Twitter yesterday. I'm like, oh no, this is not good. Music scene here recently in Winnipeg. Do you think it's going in a good direction? You think?
I think it is. I think we're seeing a lot of new bands emerging lately. Like I find like most bills that I see, like I know usually like two out of the three bands, and there's a third that I've never heard of, and then all of a sudden they're playing a bunch of shows, and I'm like, that's so cool.
Right.
I really like just seeing a bunch of new people making noise together.
Yeah, same. I'm a person all for the music scene. It's growing exponentially. I feel like it's going at a rapid pace that people are just. Well, in general, I've been telling people you could see literally a show every single weekend if you wanted to. Like there's
Oh
one Friday, Saturday, or Sunday, like legit all weekend. There's something at a venue.
yeah, for sure. And there's quite a few venues too. Like
Yeah.
so, like often, like you're like choosing between shows. Like I was so sad I couldn't go see Higher Lows on Saturday because I was playing. I was like, "You're kidding me!
Yeah.
They barely ever play, and when they do, I'm also playing. This is tragic."
Yeah, I was working, and then after a bunch of friends wanted to go about that one evening, I'm like, dang it, the one night. I'm like, geez. But
Yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
it is
There's
what it
always something to go to. It's really great. I find pretty often I'm at two shows a weekend.
is. Jeez.
And I've done the show hopping. I've gone from one to the other in the same night.
Yeah. Yeah, I did do, was it like recently? I think, yeah, it was like in wintertime. This was my first time I did two shows in one night, and it was literally one band asked me to photograph one, and then another one, the promoter asked me, hey, do you want to take photos for this? I'm like, okay, let's zip it from Park Theater to go to Handsome Daughter. I'm like, okay, let's go zip in. It was the bad night with that winter storm too. So it was like
Ooh, yeah.
nuts. It was nuts. So it was good that I had my Jeep, but either way, if I didn't, I would have been screwed. But yeah. But yeah, it's crazy how much music that we get in the city, and just even in general, we're getting more. I feel like touring artists, which is good, and I hope
Yeah.
we get more.
Yeah. I've talked to my coworkers who like some of them are in like larger like cover bands that like tour the States. And they're always telling me they're like because I haven't seen much music outside of Winnipeg, right?
Yeah,
Because I'm here. I don't got the money to travel around to see stuff. But they're always telling me like Winnipeg, like you guys in this little like scene of like kids in their 20s and stuff, like you're making good music. Like other places like don't have this like we do as much. So that's really cool to hear, especially since I haven't seen it firsthand, but to have other people be like, no, you're doing the thing and you're doing it well.
I think I've heard this before. Like I've been like for myself, I've dabbled in so many markets, and not markets, but in general, different cities. Been traveling a lot too, but then after just going and just seeing like in general, I like to when I'm out and about or going to another city, state, or whatever, and then I look up, hey, is there a show this weekend or anything locally or something? And most of the time, I look, there's probably nothing usually, which is weird. Like I think when I went to Boston in January, I'm like, I'm going for a weekend. Let me see if there is something going on, and there was nothing, and I was shocked about that. I'm like, how's that possible? It's Boston, and that doesn't make sense. So I'm like, how is Winnipeg doing better than Boston is when Boston's a huge city in general too?
Yeah, this is me just thinking off the top of my head, but like, we're in Winnipeg in the middle of Canada, in the middle of the prairies, and like we all know the jokes of like no one comes here, right? So it's like, oh, big tour, they're not coming here. If you want to see them, you got to like travel to like Toronto, which
Yeah.
is not close, or like the closest you can usually get is Minneapolis, which is in a whole different country. So like I wonder if like we're just like we got to make our own music cuz they're not bringing it to us. I mean, we're getting more. The Park Theater is doing like great stuff, but we've been filling the gap for so long.
Yeah, we've been filling the gap for so long. I feel like we're now starting to get that momentum of like, hey, it's finally picking up now. I feel
Mhm.
like it's starting to get somewhere, and in general, the Winnipeg scene is getting somewhere. I feel like the next couple years, it's gonna go like crazy. I feel like it's gonna pop off like a bottle rocket that it's waiting to burst.
Yeah.
But who are three artists that you want to see here in the next 5 years?
Any artist?
Any artist?
Well, I want to see my boys in movements. They need to come. I've been waiting. Um, some larger touring bands would be cool. I'm traveling this summer to see Paramore in Minneapolis, but I think they need to come here.
Did
I
you
think
see? Okay, this was funny. I did you see my Twitter post on Twitter? I that blew up. I
I am
posted.
I am not on twitter.com. I'll expose
Oh,
myself, but please tell me about it.
fake fan. I can't believe you. Can't believe you, Brooke. I posted a thing on Twitter about, hey, they ended the tour in Minneapolis. Add the Canadian. I added like a whole entire fake graphic of adding like Winnipeg, Calgary, Edmonton, Vancouver, and all that jazz of like the rest of Western Canada. And it was blowing up on Twitter, and people were like, "Yo, is this legit?" They
When
can
I
do
go
it.
when I go to Minneapolis, I'll hit him up and I'll be like,
Yeah.
"Hey, Mikey's got you. We already planned the tour for you. You don't have to do any work."
We planned it out. It was amazing. I feel like Nick, what is it? Nick, not Nick. Nick from Kokomono.
Mhm.
He's like, "Yo, was this legit?" It's hilarious, but yeah. Who's the other band that
Uh,
you want to see?
my last one, I'm probably gonna go Contortionist. I need them to come back. I bought tickets to see them in Toronto, and then they canceled their Canadian dates. I was devastated. It's gonna be the trip of a
That
lifetime.
is that is very rough. That is
Yeah, so
very
they
rough.
have to make it up for me by coming here, so I don't have to travel again.
Yeah, yeah, they really do. You got, yeah, yeah. I would say for myself, it would be as everything unfolds. They're like a new post-hardcore, female-fronted woman, band, post-hardcore band. And then Billie Eilish, need to see her at one point, and then Stain or Stan. I always mix up the name of that band. Whatever. It is what it is. But yeah, what is 5 things you didn't know when you first did your first show, Brooke?
Ooh,
And but now and now you know it's basically a breeze of those five things.
I guess, like, the first thing that's scary as a drummer is, like, sharing gear, is
Really?
because we
Oh,
backline and, like, you gotta get that all figured out, and it's, like at the beginning, it was, like, stressful. I was like, "Are they gonna bring the things that I need? And what do I need to bring? I know I need to bring my snare drum and my cymbals. Should I bring my own pedal? I don't know, I'm scared." Um, but that's something you get more used to. Figuring it out, it's easy. It was scary.
okay, okay. I would have been like scared if you they broke it, right?
Yeah. I I'm I used to be so scared bringing my drums to shows, because like, my drums, not to toot my own horn, but they're very nice. I spent a lot of money on them, and so I was like, "They're gonna leave my basement and someone's gonna touch them. I don't like that." But now I'm like, "Ah, just throw them in there. They'll be they're made to be played."
I've seen those drum sets. They're insane amount of money.
Yeah, they're crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Other
but
other things that
other
other
things that
things.
Uh, this is a hard
I
question. I
know.
don't
I love doing. That's a new one that I love to bring out to musicians and everyone that they're like, "Dang it."
know.
Mhm.
Mhm. I guess, like, I also started, playing, shows when I was 19, and my entire year of being 18 was COVID, so you couldn't leave your house. So even, like, the fact of, like, go to the bar, you gotta, like, load in, and you gotta, like, talk to the people that work there and get it all, like, sorted out was, like, a lot for me of, like, I hadn't even really, like, seen my friends do it or anything because I only went to, like, all ages shows that were, like, usually bigger shows where they're that's all done, like, behind the scenes before you get there and stuff, and then now it's, like, all this DIY stuff I didn't even see too much because I was a little baby. First bar is scary.
Nah,
Yeah.
nah. No, no. Well, my first bar was at the time. Well, you wouldn't know this. It was the Pint when that was a thing, and it
Mhm.
wasn't that scary.
Okay, I guess you're better than me.
Okay, listen. It's fine. It's fine. I don't know. I'm terrible. I'm terrible. Okay, you had I think 3 things or 2 things that you said.
I think that was 2, but
Two.
5 is a lot, Mikey.
Okay, fine. One more. I'll cut it to only one
Or,
more for you.
um, I gotta
Mhm.
think, I gotta think. I guess, I learned kind of a lot about, like, the show promotion aspect of it.
Hmm.
Like, before like, our first shows were put on by other people, we just joined the bill, and it was kind of a, like, let everyone else do it and just kind of, like, observe type of thing.
Yeah.
But I've actually gotten really into, like, doing the promotion side of it,
Yeah.
like, our last few shows, like, that, we've, spearheaded, like, I've done most of the, like, booking work, uh like, messaging and, like, getting all the stuff sorted with the venues. I make our show posters. I have so much fun on Canva doing that,
Nice.
and that's something I actually really love and want to do, like, as kind of a more of a career thing, not so much with, like, local bands, but with, like, probably on, like, the orchestral side of things, actually, doing this type of show promotion stuff, but for, like, the WSO is, like, my dream type of thing, and that's what I do right now, with children. I put on recitals for little kids, and it's, like, the same type of stuff, but, I find it really fun, and yeah, I definitely, like, over the first, like, I guess 4 shows we did, I was just kind of observing how they did it, and then I was like, "You know what? I've seen it a few times, I'm just gonna try it out." Uh, and it's something I really liked.
Yeah. I feel like for myself too in like the long game, I want to do like a show promoter kind of thing too. Like just I feel like I've seen this with one photographer who did this in this city. She is promoting like a DJ kind of thing or some kind of show that she's doing on her birthday. I'm like, what if I did that as well, but
Mhm.
actually like bring out a band, like a band that everyone's like, yo, you want to see this band? You're Winnipeg one day, and I'm like, why not do that? You know, like a one-time kind of thing, like once
Yeah,
a year kind of thing, like go crazy that night. I'm like,
yeah.
why not? I'm thinking of like getting into that venture of promoting one day, but we'll
Yeah,
see.
it's really fun,
It's very
and
fun.
it's nice to, like, know, like, "I wanna get this done," like, you don't have to, like, wait around for people to do it for you, just like, "I'm gonna spearhead it, and I'm gonna make this happen because it's something that's, like, exciting to me."
Hmm. Exactly. But you just have to dabble into it more and just learn from other promoters or other people in the city and be like,
Yeah,
hey,
exactly, you just kinda watch other people do it, and you try it out, and you learn from trial and error, and I've been lucky enough to get to try it in, like, a bunch of different fields, like, I'm doing it with low life, I'm doing it with the kids at work, I've done a bit of it through, like, university stuff, I've helped with, like, putting on our shows and stuff, so
yeah, you're just doing the thing, bro.
I'm just trying.
You're trying, you're hoping, you're doing it, you know. Do you
Yeah.
think other artists should be independent or should they go to labels?
Um, I mean, there's, like, pros and cons with both.
Yeah.
I mean, independent like allows you to do whatever you want to do, which is really nice. As a tiny band that just does whatever we want to do, we're having lots of fun. But I mean, of course, there's like all the like it's a lot of work. Make like doing all the like figuring out the where you're gonna record and how you're gonna do it, and like figuring out all your merch stuff and putting on the shows. Like I like putting on the shows, but it is a lot of work. So
Oh
I
yeah.
mean, if I got approached by a label, I would probably be like, hell yeah, let's do it.
Okay. I was curious on that. I'm like, oh, would you guys go to a label? Do you think? Like right now, if you guys got approached by a label right now, would you do it?
I think we would. I think we love attention, and getting a label would get us attention.
Yeah. You just want attention. That's it.
We're literally just like pay attention to us, look at us, because like we're so fun and we're so cute.
That label's gonna have fun with you guys when that
Oh,
happens.
like the label's gonna hate me personally because I'm gonna get us into some trouble for sure.
What do you mean the trouble?
I do what I want and I talk sometimes, and like sometimes I say things and I'm like, oh, should I have said that? I don't know. And I can do whatever I want right now because
Yeah.
like no one's paying any attention to it. But like if me saying things was dependent on someone else's paycheck, I feel like we'd have some problems.
Yeah, in the future interviews, you're just gonna like lay loose and just tell everything
Yeah,
for interviews.
like I think that I'm not doing anything bad. I'm just like I think I'm really funny and so I like to say things. And one day it's gonna get me in trouble.
What? Okay, you gotta tell me a funny thing now because you say that you're funny. Now we gotta see how you're funny.
I have to say something funny.
Yeah.
I mean, first of all, just like come out to any low life show. I am the front woman of low life. They throw me in the back. They're like, get her out of here. We don't want you to see her. Just like hide her. But I'm like, I'm gonna get a mic from that sound guy anyways, and I'm gonna talk all night, and you gotta listen to me. You come to a low life show. It is half music, half me, just like fielding material for my stand up set in the future.
Let's go, Brooke comedy special
Oh,
coming soon.
Netflix comedy special.
Ooh, let's go. Netflix picking it up. Let's go. Let's go. So, if what's one fact thing that people should know about drummers that they might not know about? You think?
Ooh,
Mm-hmm.
tough one.
Instead of five, we got only one.
Only one. That's good. That's
Yeah.
good. Something to know about drummers. I feel like a big thing to like know about drummers is like that drummers are like not like we're not a machine and we play with like someone to like feel and we like pull it around and stuff and like our non-perfections are like what makes drumming so awesome.
What do you mean?
I mean, like, so you ever heard of drum machine and how it's like perfect and like perfectly in time and like great?
I've never heard a drum machine until today. The
Yeah.
only thing, okay, no, the only thing I've heard of like drum stuff is like, electronic drums or that kind of stuff on like FL Studio, those kind of like drum stuff.
So
Like,
like when you put on a drum machine, it's like it's gonna be perfectly strictly in time and it's gonna do exactly what you want and all of the notes are gonna be like completely even. And every single snare drum is gonna be the exact same volume as the snare drum before it and the snare drum after it. Same with everything else because it's just a robot playing the drums.
okay,
Um, and drummers, like as human beings, we just can't physically do that. We're gonna like push and pull the time a little bit. I mean, obviously, our main goal is to be as perfectly in time as
yeah,
possible and to have all of our notes be like as even as they can, but they're not. And that's what like makes it fun is like you get like a real human feel out of everything a drummer plays, which I really enjoy, is like each drummer is so different. Like you could
mhm.
ask, I mean, I think it's the same with every instrument, but
Oh
you
yeah,
could ask 5 people to play the exact same thing, and they're all gonna play it, like, a little different, and I think that's what really, like, helps make a band sound is, like, the push and pull that their drummer gives in everything that they play.
What if there was a drummer that was faster than the drum machine?
No. No, no, no.
What do you mean? No.
That's too crazy. The drum machine goes crazy.
What if though?
But what then I wanna meet him. I wanna shake his hand.
There has to be a thing, I would think, Brooke, right?
The drum machine can go as fast as you tell it to go.
Well, then go as fast as possible and then go faster than that.
I've been trying to get faster for 10 years now, and it's so hard.
You could do
It
it.
only goes so fast. Incrementally get a little bit faster every year, and it's so little, but the drum machine, if you tell it to go 5,000 BPM, it just will.
Oh no, 4,000.
It'll happen. One day there's gonna be a song at 5,000 BPM, and none of us are gonna be able to recreate it, and that's the day that music dies.
No, that's a day when AI took over.
Yeah, for real. When the AI takes over, all music will be at 5,000 BPM.
All right, low life. Is there any new music coming out from you guys soon?
There is.
Ooh,
We're working on dropping a larger release. We've done some singles. We're talking about we were talking about an EP, but we were gonna do a 5-song EP, and then we're like, what if we just drop a 6-song and make it an album?
That's not an album.
6 gets you album status.
No, that's EP.
What do you mean?
Okay, there's a certain time limit of like how long an EP is and everything, and album wise, if it's under 25 minutes, then it's an EP with 6 songs.
It should be over. It's gonna be over.
Okay.
Our song's long.
If it's 30 minutes or longer, then yeah, it's gonna be an album. But if it's 25 minutes or less, then yeah, it's an EP.
Well, I'm learning things.
Yeah.
What do you know? Thank you, Mikey.
Yeah, listen to Mikey. Yeah.
I think we're going for our debut long release. Hopefully it'll be an album, maybe it'll be an EP. See?
Listen, I even thought the other day that an EP was still 7 songs. And then people are like, no, it has to be a certain. It's so weird because I've seen people have like EPs that are like 9 songs that are like short. And I'm like, how does this work on Spotify? Like, I don't get it. So
Yeah.
it's weird. But yeah, so tippet of the day for you, Brooke.
Thank you. But yeah, we've been working on some new stuff. We have no shows lined up right now, and we're planning to keep it that way for a little bit. We wanna like take some time to like kind of dissect our songs a little bit and make them, I think, better than they already are. Not that they're not already great. I love them so much. But yeah, we wanna really work on them and then get in the studio and record them. We have our whole plan of how we're gonna roll it out. We got the title, we got the promo idea. It's gonna be iconic. It's gonna be hilarious. I spearheaded it, so you know it's gonna be great.
Any leaks that you could do or no?
I can show you one thing that I have in my room.
Okay.
So this is some promo material I was playing around with. It's a little fortune teller. It's got all our names on it.
Oh, cool.
Numbers inside. I can't show you what's on the inside.
Ah, that's the best part though.
No. I can just tell you that like this is the vibe. Homemade fortune tellers, little art from your childhood. That's what the low life vibe is gonna be.
Honestly, hear me out. Cover art would be a fortune teller, one of those like little toy stuff that you had when you were little.
The cover art is already figured out and it's gonna be great.
Okay.
I'll tell you one thing. We're using crayons.
Sick. Ooh,
And that's all you get to know about our cover art.
Okay. I always love cover arts and just seeing where the direction went with the band and artists and everything and how they went with. I'm excited. That's gonna be sick. Cool. What's an upcoming show that you're looking forward to right now, Brooke?
Oh. Any show?
Any show.
I mean, I'm really stoked to see Paramore. I'm so excited because they are like my all-time favorite band. I think like they are one that I go back to all the time because I really go through phases with music.
Yeah.
I listen to one genre of music for, like, the longest time, and then when I finish it, I feel like I always go back to, like, that Paramore type of sound, and, like, they have such a different sound too that, like, no matter what type of sound you're looking for, they kinda have it if you because all their different eras are so different,
Sure.
so, I'm really excited for that. I think that's gonna be a big one because they inspired me a lot.
Nice. I'm excited about Nickelback in a few weeks. Just
Yeah.
because they've inspired me, and also I hope to photograph Nickelback. Because
You're gonna photograph?
photograph, we know, get the full entire circle of photograph. Taking a
Oh,
photograph of photograph.
oh my god, that's too much.
Too much of photograph. We'll
Too
see.
much photograph inception.
Photograph inception of inception. We'll take a picture of a photograph while Nickelback's playing photograph, which they have a photograph in the background.
That's I can't comprehend it. Too much.
Nah, it can never be too much.
That's good, that's good.
We'll see. We'll see. What's some small artists that you've been getting into lately, Brooke, that you wish were big mainstream level artists right now? Not
Ooh.
including Low Life.
Not including Low
No,
Life?
you can't
I was
say Low Life.
gonna say 'em, I wasn't gonna say 'em. Uh, Dear friends of mine, I do really love Kokomono so much. I think they are currently my favorite local band. Whenever they got a show lined up, I'm always excited about it, and it's always good, and their song titles are so hilarious.
Right?
Yeah. I'm excited to see everything that they do. Yeah.
Cool. Yeah, they're one of my top local artists, I feel like in the city. I'm kind of sad that they didn't get that Billy Talent lineup thing on the Burt Block party, but it is what it is. But
What it
yeah,
is.
it is what it is. But what do you want the people to know about you, Brooke?
About me?
Yeah, about you.
Ooh.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, this is a tough one. I feel like we've been talking about this the whole time. Um, I don't know. I just like talking about, my music and the things that I'm doing, and, I like people to know that I'm, working hard to inspire the next generation of musicians. I really love working with my little kids at work and seeing them progress because I know that some of them we're gonna see them emerge in, like, 10 years. They're gonna be playing the Goodwill, and it's gonna be great, and I can't wait to watch.
Ooh, ooh, maybe, maybe. Plans for the rest of the year, Brooke. What do you got?
Ooh, I'm taking a slow summer. I'm not doing much, because I don't teach much in the summer because most kids are on break. Um, and then in the fall, I am going back to school. I took kind of a bit of a semester off. I took, like, 1 class, but I'm going back, not full time, but almost, because they announced a new program where you can get a certificate in, contemporary songwriting. Really cool because I was in, like, a spot of, like, really being, like, drained and frustrated with school because it's all, like, you have to write a paper on opera, and I'm like, "I don't give a shit about opera. I just wanna play in my band," and they were like, "Well, you can't really do that." But now they're like, "Hey, you can kinda do that." They're like, "You still have to write the paper on opera, but you can also submit a hardcore song
Let's
as a project."
go.
I'm like, "That's crazy," because that's, like, a brand new thing that they've never let us done before, so
Ooh. Breaking the fourth wall here.
I am breaking the fourth wall.
Let's go. Let's go. All right. Shout yourself out, Brooke. What do you want the people to know?
Well, people know I want
Mhm.
people to, um, follow my spam. It's so funny. Creek Pond Drink Water on Instagram.com. That's the only thing I'm shouting out. I'm not shouting out my main. If you wanna find Low Life, you can find Low Life on your own time. Follow Creek Pond Drink Water.
If I knew about this, I would have put this in the graphic, but I didn't. I put your actual Brooke Instagram on the
No,
graphic, but
no,
no.
that's good. But I want the people who made it all the way to the end to follow my spam because that is where the peak of my life is.
What do you post on your spam?
Oh, um, a lot of cursed content. I post quotes that my students say,
Oh,
in their lessons, and they're hilarious. I'll read one
does
for
that
you.
break like student
Yeah,
confidentiality? No?
Well, they never made me sign a contract on that, so I think I'm good. But I never say their names or anything.
Oh, then yeah, you're good then.
Uh,
I think.
Here's an iconic one, okay? My one student came in one time and I was telling her that she needs to stop doing stick tricks because they're gonna just be too crazy and they're gonna everyone's gonna not be able to handle it because their stick tricks are so wild. And she goes, "Look, you can cage the lion, but you can't cage the roar." And then just went right back to playing probably Seven Nation Army.
That kid's going places, I can already tell.
She is. She is. Her goal is to be recruited by ACDC, and I think she's gonna do it.
Who's gonna tell her?
Ah, don't worry.
Oh no. Oh no. And
Yeah, there's a lot of cursed content on there that I really can't explain it.
yeah,